man, that was a really fun weekend, wasn't it?
We had a lot of pizza, didn't we?
Oh my God, too much.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
From Dayton, man.
Yeah.
God, state was awesome, wasn't it? Bro, you ready for the last show?
You know, when we started this season, I had a vision. Not a clear vision, but a vision. And I'm not ready to give up on my dreams yet.
I don't really have the energy for this today.
I got this.
Travis, take this.
Joe, you've had a great run. Those clinic videos, they're, as the kids would say, fire. Who cares if nobody watched them?
I sent another copy to Todd Monken last week. You know, maybe he'll see my talent.
Forget about the Browns, Joe. You performed with Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. And where would the Seahawks be without your strategies? You still have them on your clipboard, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But even after getting my Super Bowl ring, RedZone never called with an offer. Don't I seem like the right guy for that job?
Let's not worry about that right now, Coach. You're a dreamer. I'm sure you've got something else you'd like to pursue now that the basketball season's over.
You know, Travis, I'm glad you asked, because on my way down to the studio today, driving on Route 30, I passed 2 cars and made a lane switch you wouldn't believe.
Uh-huh.
And I watch NASCAR races, and all those guys have to do is turn left. You know, I've been driving for like 40 years, longer than most of those ankle biters have been alive. Shouldn't be that hard to soup up the old minivan and make a run at the Pro Driver Circuit.
Yeah, super easy, Joe. I feel really good about this episode. Let's just get through this last show, and then we can get you on the fast track to success.
Sure, good idea. Let's focus on the last episode and then head straight out to the parking lot for some practice, Travis. Race ya.
Yeah, good idea.
Hey man, how'd it go?
About as you'd expect. Wow.
We're here with Travis Berardi, and Travis, we got to spend a weekend together. Hopefully nobody takes that the wrong way.
Wow, we're off to a raring start here on the final episode of the Joe Show. No, we got to go down to Dayton. It's one of the better weekends of the high school athletics season, I believe. Going down to Dayton, not only do you see all the coaches of teams that didn't make it sorrowfully, but you also see some very high quality basketball. And even though some people say that, oh, going to 7 divisions, that's too much. Some of these teams don't deserve being there, blah, blah, blah. We saw some very, very competitive basketball for the second consecutive season.
Yeah, there were some outstanding games, both in the semifinals and the finals, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about the finals.
Yes, we are, all 7 champions, and let's start with Division 1. It was Hilliard-Bradley against Princeton, and this was one of the few blowouts of the 7 championships. Princeton getting championship number 1 in a runaway 59-28. Our good friend Joe Roberts, who used to be the AD at Lexington, he's now the AD at Princeton, and he was able to, tuck that trophy into his car, put the seatbelt on, and drive it right back down to Princeton High School.
Well, a great year for Princeton High School, because their girls also were in the finals and lost in the finals. But this was a game, I think, that you take a look at that Bradley, led by Coach Brett Norris, who, it's kind of interesting, he won the state championship at Delphus in 2002.
Okay.
In Delphus, of course, we'll talk about them a little bit later. But Bradley was kind of in a situation where they were going to really need to shoot the basketball extremely well, and they just struggled. And a large part of that was because of the athleticism and just Princeton. But yes, this was one of the games that was probably a blowout from the standards of what the state tournament was this year.
And it was from the start, 16-5 Princeton in the first, 7-2. They scored as many points as Bradley did in the first half in the second quarter alone, and that pretty much was the name for that. Amir Gill, 24 points to lead the way. Rogni Santino Lugo with 12 points as well. The two lone double-figure scores both for Princeton. The other side of things, Kipton Norris had 8 points. Jaden Reed Davis 8 points for Bradley. So it was just domination.
And Princeton has maybe one of the top-ranked, not only in the state, but top-ranked sophomores in the country in Cam Mercer, who's being touted as being a highly recruited player across the nation. So Princeton did not have a lack of talent as they won the state tournament.
Yeah, we saw also big crowds down there, but most of these teams were not too far from UD Arena, but still, like the crowd we saw with Princeton, it was a great time for them to get win number 1. On to number 2, and one of the couple overtime games we had in the state championships, and 117 years of Massillon, Washington basketball, 0 state championships, 0 trips to the Final Four since the 40s. And what do? They come out here and they knock off Westerville North, the defending champs, to win their first ever state championship game, coming back from 15 down in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you started the tournament, even started the season, people looked at Westerville North and said this is a team that really has a great chance to repeat. But people don't understand the road to get there is pretty tough. So one, for Westerville North to get back to the state championship game was an outstanding season. Number 2, though, you give Mass a lot of credit, because I thought that when they made that run when Westerville North made the run in the third quarter, it went up 15. I thought, man, this thing might be over. But man, they came back and just fought in an outstanding basketball game, and probably one of the most outstanding plays in the tournament.
Yeah, both teams had 3 in double figures. Geo Jackson Jr. was the MVP, had 17 points, 9 rebounds for Massillon, Washington. But it was the play of Xavier Williams. You talked about it. It's later on in this highlight. But a track down a la LeBron James 2016 block with time running out. Blocks it off the backboard. It goes out of bounds. Massillon has a shot to win it in regulation, doesn't. Then they go into overtime, and Geo Jackson Jr. took over. Like I said, 17 for him, 15 points from Jadis Thigpen, 15 from Xavier Williams. But then on the other side, Elijah McCree, 21 points, 15 for Tony Cornett, 12 for Damian King for Westerville North. Tyson Perkins, only 9 points. He fouls out in the fourth quarter, and that kind of changed the complexion.
I think he fouled out with about 5 minutes to go in the basketball game, and that his ability just, one, defensively to create havoc, and then his ability to handle the basketball was truly a difference in this game down the stretch that he was not able to be on the floor. And Massillon, I mean, they really earned it. They played in the semifinal game, which I did not get to see, but out at Wright State, close to 9,000 people at that game.
I'm a senior.
Very, very good basketball game. But man, they earned it there this weekend.
Yeah, and then even in the regional at the College of Worcester, they knocked off a couple very good squads there to get to state. But, I just moved to Massillon officially in January, so I guess I could say I am a part of the City of Champions. Massillon no longer just a football school. They've won a state basketball championship, one of the feel-good moments
They'll have to start handing out little basketball things to the babies. Don't they hand out
footballs?
Like
footballs?
Footballs?
Yeah, now basketballs
now
as
basketball
well.
will be written there. Josh hosts one of our district directors, the head coach there, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. He just put out a long, lengthy a message out to the fans, to all the people that gave him a chance at Massillon, and he's returned it with a first state championship. Now to D3, and another great game. Trotwood Madison, who put up the shot of the tournament in the semifinal to force overtime and then knock off Toledo Central Catholic, gets here. And then on the other side, Santino Haney, I think, was one of my favorite players down at the state tournament. He put up a show. This thing was back and forth. It came down to the final shot, but Trotwood Madison finishes one of the toughest roads to a state championship after knocking off Toledo Central Catholic in overtime the day before. They defeat Steubenville 48-47, led by Darius Dennis, the MVP, a double-double of 17 points, 14 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, Trotwood Madison, two really tough basketball games to win a state championship. A 2-point game, as you said, and then, of course, this overtime game. But Santino Haney was probably a favorite by many just because of his toughness. Maybe had some of the quickest hands that you saw in the tournament of getting deflections and steals, but a tough way to lose, that they had a chance at the end to have it, but just were not able to make the layup. And great game though.
Yeah, Haney finished the state championship game 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals for him. And tune in later for Brian's top cuts. He might have a play from the semifinal that I'm still surprised at. But this was the game-winning bucket with about 10 seconds left. That was taken by Darius Dennis. And then here's Haney. I like the fact that the refs didn't call that, because there was an elbow in there from the Trotwood player, but Haney was just a little bit off to the right. It just glances off the front of the rim and then just bobbled around for the win. I know I walked up to you after, he was like, I don't know why that wasn't called. I looked at it in slow motion. The Trotwood player actually had the hook on him first, and then he just shoved him off. Refs let it finish out. Trotwood wins the state championship, but that was one of the many great games we saw down there.
Yeah, one of the best games that we were able to see, and congratulations to Trotwood Madison on the D3 state championship.
Yeah, and just the path that Trotwood took to get there, knocking off a Toledo Central Catholic team that everybody thought was an easy favorite to win D3, but we had a couple of those teams that that were even tested, but
that's why you play the tournament.
That's why you play the tournament. All right, let's go on to D4. Cincinnati, Wyoming in the semifinal got that revenge over Maysville after losing at the buzzer in the semifinal last year. They knocked them off. Glenville handled Perkins in the semifinal, and then it was Wyoming that was another one of those blowouts. They just dominated from start to finish. They held Glenville to 5 points in that first quarter, went up 11 after 1, and just cruised from there.
Well, Wyoming, I think Brian had talked about an interview he had with a player. And
yes.
He brought up Maysville, something about it. You thought about that, getting a chance to play them, and he was like, every single day since it happened.
That's Kellen Wiley.
And so when I saw them play Maysville, they played so well. I think they shot like 71% from the field. We're just really efficient. And my question as a coach was, how do you get them back? Because that was almost like their state championship. But the coach's staff at Wyoming did a great job of getting that team ready to play. And then, as you said, I think the important thing was they jumped out to an early lead and just maintained it throughout the rest of the basketball game.
Yeah, turnovers were about even. They only turned the ball over 6 times in this game, but they out-rebounded Glenville by 11. Kellen Wiley, 4 players in double figures for Wyoming in a state championship game. I mean, you can't get any more balanced than that. Wiley with 20, Carlisle Billingsley with 20, 15 from Darren Gray, 10 from Devin Evans. On the other side, Arvell Nelson Jr. with 19, and Theodore Castro with 13. But yeah, Glenville, other than those two, just could not do anything against a very, very solid defensive team. And Wiley, like you said, just a man playing possessed, wanting that redemption from a year ago. He did it against Maysville, and then he did it here against Glenville. And I mean, the emotion, that's what you love about the state tournament right there. And
they might have had the most efficient game offensively in that semifinal game against Maysville with how they played. So, congratulations to Wyoming, as they lost in the state semis a year ago on a last-second shot. Or they could have easily possibly been back-to-back state championships. But congratulations to that Division IV state champs.
Yeah, quite the redemption. I know as a head coach, too, to not only do it like that, but to knock off the team that beat you in the semifinal, get back there, that's just got to be a complete full circle moment.
And Maysville had a great year.
Yes, they did. I mean, Gator Nichols, finalist for Mr. Basketball.
They beat some really good teams. They beat Lutheran East. They beat Kettering Halter. They had a tremendous season. But, that's the tournament, as we'll see here with the NCAA, is there's a lot of elation, but there's also a lot of disappointment.
So in D5, it was Columbus Academy playing there. We thought maybe this was Margaretta's, but despite being half their team down because some of the players were in Japan. Whoever scheduled that from Columbus Academy, I think there's going to be a lot of students and fans not happy with that person because they were in Japan for this trip. However, Columbus Academy, after coming back from 14 down to beat Margaretta in the regional final, they cruised to a state semifinal victory, but just weren't enough against Lutheran East, losing 50-36. Jason Singleton, he tried keeping his team on his back, 17 points and 6 rebounds, but really couldn't get much of a balance after that. While on the other side, Lutheran East, led by Devontae Perkins and Dylan Ziegler, both in double figures, both getting up the rebounds as well.
Well, Lutheran East, they've just been a predominantly great basketball program the last 10 years. I think they've been to the state tournament, 9 years in a row.
4 straight championships, which is now a state record. And they also have the state record now for most consecutive tournament games won. It's, I think, 32 or 33, something like that. So that beat 29. So this is a team. This is, you could probably say the D word. This is a dynasty right here.
Yes.
4 straight state championships. I think 6 or 7 straight Final Fours. This is the epitome of a dynasty in Ohio basketball.
Yeah, they've had a tremendous run over the last decade, and I think they're somewhat still fairly young.
Yeah.
So would not be surprised that they would be back in Dayton again next year.
And you have to think just the way they've been playing too, that maybe the national pundits and Max Preps maybe put them nationally ranked next year. Because, I mean, like you said, they have a lot of youth, they have a lot of talent, and I don't think Lutheranese is going anywhere anytime soon. But also, you have to shout out Jason Singleton and the career that he has had.
Outstanding.
Like you said, with short man in the regional final, somehow pulls it off, carrying his team on his back, and then in the semifinal they cruised. So despite all of that, he is still able to take his team to a state championship appearance, and you have to give him credit for that.
Yep. And he's headed to Harvard, so
smart kid.
Not only a great basketball player, but also a very smart young man, and we wish him the best of luck.
Yes, and once again, congratulate the 4th straight state championship from Lutheranese. You could say they're the Marion local of the basketball court.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marion local, they were back in a final taking on another Eastern District team in Berlin-Highland. Last year they got knocked off by Monroe Central. It was the first time in over 50 years that the OVAC had a basketball champion. And now comes Berlin-Highland and another just absolutely phenomenal game. Back and forth. Marion local's up 4 with less than a minute left. Somehow Highland gets 2 free throws, a steal, and a bucket to force overtime. And then not only do we go to single overtime, we go to double overtime before the Hawks pull off the championship, and just another tough runner-up finish for Marion local.
Well, we talked about Marion local being a football school. Berlin-Highland does not have football.
They basketball and baseball.
But that state championship game was a physically played basketball game by both basketball teams.
And I asked you during halftime, I was like, what do you think about the refs? You said there were a lot of fouls there. I was fine with it for the fact that there were so many plays that could have been fouls that I think the starting 5 on each side would have been fouled out. The referees let this be a physical game. There were a couple times where you're like, okay, maybe I do call that, but they let both teams play, and it turned out to be the best game of the tournament.
Yeah, but the other part of it is you take a look at from a coaching standpoint, it took away, from the flow of the game. But you do give Berlin-Highland a lot of credit. And number 23, I don't know his name off the top of my head. He probably should have been the MVP of this.
Ashton Schrock.
He should have been the MVP of this game. I'm not taking out nothing away from Berlin-Highland's big guy, but the job that he did
he had the steal that forced the game time free throws.
And
too,
the job he did on Marion local's point guard was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think, is it Mesher, I believe, was their point guard.
Braden Mesher, only 6 points.
He talked about how tough that game was for him. But Marion local, man, again, getting back to the state finals for a second year in a row. And they lost some key seniors from a year ago. And I listened to the post game with Coach Kurt Godemiller talking about it, that they expected they could be pretty good and maybe make a run, but he said never expected to have the season that they had. I think most of their games they won by close to 10 points, and then just heartbreaking that either team had to lose this game in the state finals.
And you just saw moments ago Grant Kramer hit 2 big threes in that first overtime for Marion local. He led all scores with 22 points. He was 5-11 from 3. But Highland, Ryan Zerger, the MVP, 18 points, 11 rebounds.
Right there.
Right there. There's the steal put back. But 18 points for him. Alex Miller, 11 points as well as Highland. Just were able to ice it down the stretch. Marion local, as you'll see here in a bit, had a chance for 3 in the tie. It was a little bit too strong, and it was Zerger that got the easiest rebound of the game for him. Here's the play right now to give Highland the state championship.
And then you also give credit to the young player that came off the bench for Berlin-Highland, because they had guys foul out. They hit 2 free throws. It had not played the whole night. I think it's number 12.
It was, no, not 12. Yes, it's CJ Yoder. 2 for 2. 0 for 3 from the field, but 2 for 2 from the free
Well,
throw
there was
line.
another
Yoder.
There's
Yoder.
another player though that.
And then Grant Billy as well.
Yeah,
Only
Grant
2
Billy.
minutes.
Yes. Grant Billy came in off the bench and hit.
Yeah.
Those two guys hit 4 free throws to win the game. But that's kind of what the tournament's about. Sometimes you have that player that's just a role player, and Billy may not have played at all unless they got in foul trouble and a couple guys fouled out, but he gets in the game and knocks down free throws. Mark Schleybaugh, tremendous
Absolutely.
high school basketball
Legend.
coach. Berlin Highland basketball, boys and girls, has had tremendous runs. The interesting thing here, going to the 7 divisions, you didn't have Berlin Highland or Marion Local running into somebody that was just way more athletic than
Richmond
them.
Heights.
You had those communities that came in,
it was
which
phenomenal.
The next game we'll talk about the two communities.
Just the fact, the attendance, not only for that, but for the semifinal game. You talked about the Massillon Washington Lima Senior game. They had to open up more seats. They had to take the tarps off of seats at Wright State to fill that place. But yeah, the Delphos St. John's fans were beyond amazing there, taking on Clyde team. Now, we do have to mention the Hillsdale Falcons making history. This game's tied 44-all with 4 minutes left, but Clyde had just a few extra plays to get there, and they get to the state championship game, and they actually give Delphos St. John's one heck of a game. I mean, they finished at 9.
They played Delphos St. John's to open the season.
15-point game.
Delphos won 45-30, which probably was the lowest scoring game Delphos had in the entire season. And then you're going, 17-11, so they started the tournament. Clyde started the tournament 11-11. You're like, how did a team like that make this run? Well, if you look at their schedule, they played a tremendous schedule. Lima, Shawnee. They played a lot of those Lima area schools. They played Delphos during the year. And then they had some young players that started stepping up the second half of the year, some sophomores. But give Coach Aaron Elwell and Delphos a lot of credit. After a disappointing loss in the regionals a year ago to Arlington, they bounced back, go 29-0, the only team to go undefeated this season. Had an opportunity, his son play for him. You saw highlights of the celebration back at
Delphos. That's what we're going to get into as well,
And I also got to, I watched on YouTube the recognition the next day. Really special moment in Delphos for this basketball team and their players, coaches, and fans.
Cam Elwer should have been Mr. Basketball. You guys, the Coaches Association, named him Player of the Year, correct?
Yeah, he was our Mr. OH.
So he was you guys made the right call. Some of the media and the prep media, I still don't understand what's wrong with you guys, but Cam Elwer should have been Mr. Basketball. He finished second by 8 points, but he finishes 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, only 1 turnover. He was 14 of 16 from the line. That is Mr. Basketball numbers, and despite not winning Mr. Basketball, he has himself a state championship in front of a phenomenal crowd, and you talked about it. We had some footage sent to us that we put on our social medias, if you want to look on the social media, of the trip back home, the bus ride. There's toilet paper all over the streets. Fans are lined all over the place. It was just, that's what you want for a state championship team to come back to.
And Cam Elwer, going to Furman, I think has made over 300 threes in his career, and is shooting, I think, like 55% for his career.
And most of those are with his hands right in his face. I've seen him hit so many tough shots and make it look easy.
And that was what's impressive about him as a player this weekend was actually he did not shoot the ball real well from long range. And I think he just took it on himself to get to the basket, create contact, and as you said, goes 14 of 16 from the free throw line. And again, congratulations, Delphos St. John's, outstanding year. Special season you're always going to remember. I mean, winning a state championship is special. Going 29-0 and winning a state championship is really, really special.
And against the schedule you had. It's Division 7, but Max Preps had them as a top 10 team in all of the state of Ohio. I do want to give you a chance to shout out Malvern as well, a coaching legend that made it in his final year. He's going to retire this year, and he made it to the Final Four as well. Yeah,
Dennis Tucci, well known in the coaching ranks, is one of the best coaches in the state of Ohio. Has had some really, really good basketball teams. In fact, I've had people say, and not taking anything away from the team that made it this year, but this was not one of his best teams. But special for him. I mean, anytime you're able to get to the Final Four as a coach, it's special. For him, 43 years, I think, in coaching. To get there your last year, and then have a chance, hey, you can just kind of go out on a high note. Really, really special.
I know that Coaching Association, all the coaches, you guys made it a thing to make it to that semifinal as well. I saw, because I was getting ready for the Hillsdale game, I looked back, all of the Coaches Association members that were down there were there just to be there for him and to watch Cam Elward. But I think that was a cool moment as well. I guess that shows the brotherhood of the Coaches Association too.
Well, there's a lot of guys, I'm not one of them, that go to Eastern Ohio.
Oh, yes.
The Larry Huggins camp, a lot of guys go to. But a lot of those guys have gone there and know Coach Tushy really, really well, and of course admire him. And I think that's what's also special when you go to the state tournament. You get a guy like him that makes it there. You're really happy for somebody that's put in all that time and really probably should have been there a couple different years, but it just doesn't work out. But this year it worked out, and now you can, as I said, go out on a high note.
All right, before we get done with this segment, I'm going to put you on the spot. What was the best game you saw down there? Doesn't even have to be the state championship games, but just your opinion on what was the best game you saw down there.
I mean, the game that, I don't know if it's the best game, but I guess the game as I went to the state tournament looking forward to see was the Maysville, Wyoming game.
That was the first game that Brian and I were down there for, too.
I mean, I thought that was, as I said, I thought Wyoming was just really, really efficient. But probably as you look at this state tournament, I mean, it's only the second year we went to 7 divisions. As we mentioned, there were a lot of really, really good basketball games. Overtime games, close games. I thought the tournament went really well. It'll be interesting to see in a few weeks. I think we're going to have a meeting and get a chance to talk a little bit about the tournament, how it went. Because, last year we didn't put all the teams down there. We had the state semifinals across the state. And I think the feeling that they got this year was, even though for many teams that turnaround from playing a semifinal to a state final was pretty short, I think everybody was pretty positive with the atmosphere that their teams got to be involved with, whether they won or whether they were, lost in the semifinals. It still felt special to those teams. So kudos to OHSA for doing that this year, and I think we'll just continue to try to improve that experience for teams and players and coaches as we go along.
Yeah, shout out Doug Ute, not only the executive director of the OHSA, but he's also the head of the boys basketball as well. So shout out to him. A great weekend altogether.
What was your favorite?
My favorite?
Game?
Oh man, I saw so many good baskets. I mean, the Trotwood.
See, so now you can't even pick one either.
I can't even. The Trotwood Toledo Central Catholic game, the 3-pointer that went viral on our socials. Had the most views ever, I think, on our X page. Watching Santino Haney do his thing. I mean, Italians represent, man. That was beautiful basketball by an Italiano. Also, the Highland Marion local game. Watching Hillsdale make their first appearance and put up a fight with one of the best in the state, as we saw with Kalida. A lot of good basketball. Bravo, Doug Ute and the OHSAA, because that was some very good basketball.
It was good. It was a good weekend.
Well, that's it for the tournament time. But here on the OH Report, we're not done. Tomorrow, starting at 4:30, Chris Bliley and myself got ourselves a little bit of a marathon. We're going to have the Spy Report All-Star Games, the underclass girls 4:30, 6:15, I believe, is the boys, and then the 2 senior games. And then on Friday, on a tape delay, we will have the News Journal Girls Showcase, the 3rd annual one there at 6 o'clock. And then at 7:30, we will have the 47th annual News Journal All-Star Game. And afterwards, stay tuned, because we will air, for the first time this season, we will have this year's edition of One Shining Moment at the end of the News Journal game. So we're not quite done yet, but basketball pretty much dialing down here for the season. And Joe Balogh's going to go back into hibernation at a golf course near you. But, Coach, as always, it's been a pleasure working with you again.
Great year. Thank you. We're going to turn it over to Brian as he has the recap of the girls' state tournament.
Thank you, guys. It truly was a special weekend down in Dayton for the boys' state championships. A lot of great games, but the girls also had a lot of fantastic finishes. So let's spin it back and relive all of the 7 division state championship games beginning in Division 1, where Cincinnati Princeton had the title ripped right out of their hands on this clutch shot to force overtime by Kettering Fairmont, who would go on to win the game in the extra session 61-55. Firebirds finished the season a perfect 28-0, overcoming a 7-point deficit with under 3 minutes to play to force that overtime session as Janiah Hargrave put up a game-best 23 points to go along with 9 rebounds, leading her team to the title. In Division II, Mount Notre Dame nearly completed a perfect season of their own, but they fall just short to Akron-Hoban, 72-64 the final score in this game. It's the program's second state championship, with the Knights getting hot at the right time. They won their last 11 games to earn the chip, preventing Notre Dame from winning a state title for a record 9th time in their 12th trip down to state. Mira Stevens, with 25 points on 10 of 17 shooting, was your game MVP. Chaminade-Julienne beat St. Vincent St. Mary 49-40 behind Janae Kane's 17 points in the Division III final. It's their 4th state championship since 2005 and the first time the Irish have ever been runners-up in 4 appearances in the state championship game. Craziest thing about this for Eagles fans, though, is that probably most of them live within walking distance to UD Arena, with the high school a mere 4-minute drive away from the state championship game venue. In Division IV, Bellevue came up just short of their quest for back-to-back state chips, dropping a classic to Laurel, maybe the game of the weekend. They got 2 Tristan Williams free throws with 4 seconds remaining to knock off Bellevue 60-58. It's the first state title for Laurel, handing the Lady Red their only loss of the season. They finish up at 29-1, and their 49-game win streak is now over. But freshman Ava Jacobson-Tice had 20 points and 8 rebounds in that final, so you can probably expect a new win streak to start up again next season for Coach Corey Santoro's bunch. Portsmouth also prevented a perfect season for Ottawa Glandorf in the Division V final, and poor Lady Titans still have not won a state championship, even though they've been to the last day of the season 5 times. They lose in the D5 game 53-48. D1 college prospect Kiki Woods definitely was the difference. She was legendary in this game, having her own version of the Christian Leitner game, if you will. She made all 11 of her shots, game best 26 points, while Miss Basketball finalist Carson Erford had 18 points and 4 steals in her final high school game. In Division VI, St. Henry finishes the season at 27-1, following up the school state football championship by running away from Canton Central Catholic for the title 53-34. It's the first ever trip for the Redskins to the state Final Four, making the most of their experience in Dayton, leading wire to wire and dominating the glass in the final 37-19. Addie Homan posted a game-high 20 points. She would be named game MVP. Finally, in Division VII, Strasburg Franklin also made their first ever state appearance count, defeating Russie 38-17 and setting a new state record for fewest points surrendered in a championship game. Allie Miller scored the same amount of points as the Raiders, all on her own, 17 of them, as the Tigers cashed in also on 17 turnovers to earn the first gold trophy for head coach Tyler Bates in just his second season with the program. Big congratulations to all of the state champions, and of course all the teams that get down to Dayton. It definitely is just a special experience overall, and very hard to just get down there into the final weekend of this season. We're going to take a quick commercial time out. When we come back, Coach Balogh is going to go inside hoops with head coach Scott Sellers of the Clear Fork Lady Colts.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
The Clear Fork girls basketball program has become one of the best in North Central Ohio since Scott Sellers took over as head coach 6 seasons ago. The Lady Colts have set numerous program records during his brief time on the sidelines, racking up more than 100 career wins, including the team's first district title in 36 years and first league crown since 2004 this winter. I had the opportunity to see Sellers' squad in action just before the playoffs as we head out to Bellville to go inside hoops with the Clear Fork Lady Colts. We're here with Coach Scott Sellers of the Clear Fork Lady Colts on this edition of Inside Hoops. And, Coach, I think we just mentioned that this is year 6, kind of revitalized this program. And I think one of the things before we start talking maybe about this year and the success you've had here at the varsity level, I'd like to talk a little bit about what you do with your youth program and how you've tried to involve that in this program.
Actually, how we started was I told you how much more gray hair I have now, being year 6. It's crazy. Year 6, being here, same staff. Pretty incredible, though. As far as
Well, I think the first thing you bring up, I had this question, but you said staff, have the same staff. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's
too.
unbelievable. It's we got Ben Cool's here. I grew up kind of following him around. He played at Bluffton. My big brother Clint and Kerry Gottfried, who's coached about everything here. So we've had a lot of continuity at that level, but we've also had coaches growing up with the youth teams that are now in 7th and 8th grade. They started with them, 3rd and 4th grade. I think for us, youth-wise, I think that it's critical to the long-term success of a program. We have the mini Colts, which a lot of people know, and we practice with those guys. We're in the MOBL league. We have, I think, a 3rd grade team, 2 4th grade teams, a 5th grade, 2 5th grade teams, and 6th grade teams. So just giving them opportunities to play. I think that, when people look at our mini Colts or our youth teams and like, oh, we got this much skill or we're doing this. For us, it's, first and foremost, can we give them an environment to where they like being around basketball, to where they love playing? Because 95% of the kids I've coached here have been 2 or more sport athletes. So that's who we get a coach. So for us, it's, you show me a kid that loves to play basketball, and I'm going to show you a kid that's probably going to get better because they want to do it on their own. So I think that's paramount to the success of a program, is just instilling love for the game, because it's a lot. It's a long season. It's a long season for if you're playing 3 sports. So how can we keep it fresh? How can we make them want to come to the gym and want to be around it? And it's a challenge every year, and it's something that we study and we look forward to getting better at.
How have you challenged them during this season, maybe with the schedule a little bit, but also just with practices?
It's such a long season that I challenge them to show up every day, put in the work, do all the cliche things, but, be a great teammate. We always talk about that. Your buddy makes a 3. Everybody should be getting up off the bench and cheering for him. You get subbed out if you've played for 10 or 15 seconds, sprint off the floor, touch everybody's hand. We have team shoes. I'm a little old school with some of the things I kind of believe in.
Shoes.
But I ask them to do it, and I've told parents this. It's not for everybody, and it's hard and it's challenging, and you're not going to be everybody's best friend. And it's probably the hardest thing of coaching for me. You've asked this to me before, and I think one of the hardest things is I hate disappointing people, but we set standards a certain way, and we expect certain things. But this group here, they've been absolutely wonderful doing everything we ask them to do. They're always early. The captains and senior leaders, they always eat last. They're always the last out of the locker room. The locker room is pristine clean. The bus, when they get off it, is pristine clean. The bleachers after games, away games, are clean. They just do all the right things, and it makes it a lot of fun to coach.
So you've already answered a question I had down the road with really what you like about this team. You really pretty much answered that. But let's jump to that. You kind of cleared a hurdle this year that you were able to win the MOC and beat the nemesis that's kind of been the league nemesis in Shelby. You beat them twice. What do you think that's meant to this program this year?
It's meant a lot. It's been since 2004 since they won a conference championship. Our first year, our goal was to win a conference championship. I knew we couldn't, but we set that as a goal. Second year, set it as a goal. We were 1-10, I think, coming in this year against Shelby, and we played them tough both games. They were 9-1 coming into our second game, and we beat them, and that felt like it kind of got us over the hurdle. And then it was more relief, I think, for me and the team to actually get over that hurdle. And that was our first one. Like, they've won 7 in a row. It's unbelievably hard. And I told Natalie and Scott that when I seen them, like, congrats. I don't think people understand how hard it is to win one. And it's got to be harder to win it again, and then again, and the pressure of that just mounts. And you know, the kids this year that they had, they played so hard, and they do things the right way. And you know, luckily we were able to do it, but you know, you just can't take winning for granted. I hope they don't. I hope it still is special to them next year. And it's tough. I mean, to repeat is tough. So for what Shelby did, hats off to them. It's unbelievable. You know, for us to clear that hurdle was pretty special, though.
Well, you played Galleon at home on Friday night in the tournament. Your last regular season game was this past Wednesday. And we talked a little bit about before practice, but talk about maybe how practice has changes as you get to the end of the season and as you prepare for the tournament.
I've talked to a lot of coaches about this too over the years, how they prepare. And you know, some coaches will say we'll scrimmage boys teams, and some will say we'll scrimmage for an hour, you know, night before a game. Talk to others where they spend 45 minutes on the floor. So I don't know what the perfect answer is, not to duck the question. As we get closer to a game,
I don't think there is a perfect answer, Scott. I think it's what you...
And we figure it out every year, kind of what works for us, and we probably don't get it right either. I think that as a coach, you have to figure out what you really, really believe in, and then I think you just stand behind it. Listen, I think there's people that are going to think that you make a mistake whether you win or lose. I think that as long as you can justify it to yourself and to your team and you believe in it, I think that, you know, I think that I'll continue to do it that way.
Well, for me, I always enjoy coming down and watching practice because there's no waste of time. It's always on pace, and it's interesting to watch your players, and then also talking to Brindley about how, you know, it's not always easy. It's hard, and that's what I think sometimes we, as coaches, players need to understand. Hard is not bad. Hard is good because you got to learn to handle hard, and that's what you kind of taught this team. So, on behalf of the OH Reporter, great we get a chance to come down here. And we hope you can be playing here for the next 3 or 4 weeks.
We do too. We do too. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Sellers Lady Colts earned the #1 seed in their district, but fell flat in a semifinal loss against Willard for a surprising early exit in what many believed was the most challenging bracket in Division 5. Clear Fork will certainly miss the 3 seniors departing at graduation, but will return a first-team All-Ohio selection and several talented underclassmen to try and defend the program's first MOAC championship. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout for a message from our sponsor, Buckeye Horizon.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Before we went on break, I nominated 10 players for Coach B's Ballers. And after nearly a month's worth of fan votes, here's who you chose as your 7th Baller of the season. Congratulations to Carson Reinhardt of Fredericktown for his clutch performance in a win over Colonel Crawford. The junior put up 22 points in a come-from-behind victory, making the biggest play of the night in overtime to keep Fredericktown's undefeated regular season intact. Congratulations to Carson on being selected for this award and on a great season. Now let's meet your boys state championship nominees for Coach B's Ballers. Our first nominee is Amir Phillips of the Princeton Vikings. Amir scored 24 points by going 10 of 12 from the field in Princeton's 59-28 win over Hilliard Bradley in the Division I state championship game. Amir also grabbed 7 rebounds as the Vikings captured their first state basketball championship after 3 trips to the state Final Four. Our second nominee is Gio Jackson of the Massillon Washington Tigers. Gio scored 17 points on an 8 for 11 shooting performance and also grabbed 9 rebounds as the Orange and Black battled back from a 15-point deficit in the third quarter to knock off Westerville North, the defending Division II state champions, 68-63 in overtime. This is Massillon's first state basketball championship in the school's 117 years of existence. Our next nominee is Darius Dennis of Troutwood Madison, who led the Rams to their second state championship with a huge double-double in the Division III title game. Dennis put up 17 points and grabbed 14 rebounds, including the game-winning bucket to knock off Steubenville, and also hit the game-tying three-pointer in the semifinals to force overtime against Toledo Central Catholic. The junior will be back for the Rams next season, looking to get Troutwood back to state for the 7th time. Our fourth nominee is explosive senior guard Kellen Wiley from the Wyoming Cowboys. Motivated by a devastating loss in the state semifinals last season, Wiley finished his career with a near triple-double in a 73-48 win over Cleveland Glenville, going off for 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists to capture Wyoming's first ever state title in their first trip to the finals. Our fifth nominee is Devontae Perkins of Lutheran East. This junior helped lead the Falcons to a state record 4th consecutive championship, scoring 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting while grabbing 12 rebounds in a 50-36 win over Columbus Academy. It's the second straight season the Lou has faced the Vikings in the final, bringing home the program's 7th overall state championship and 11 trips to the Final Four. Our sixth nominee helped Highland hand Marion Local its second consecutive state runner-up finish as sophomore Ryan Zerger was a key presence in the paint for the Hawks' 4th championship, shooting 50% from the field and finishing with a double-double of 18 points and 11 rebounds in the Division VI championship double overtime instant classic 54-51 win over the Flyers. Our final nominee ended a record-breaking high school career with the highest scoring output by any player in a state championship game this year as Delphos St. John's Cam Elwer posted 28 points, which included 14 of 16 from the free throw line, tying a state championship record for most free throws. Elwer's Blue Jays defeated longtime rival Kalida in the Division VII title game 56-47, finishing his career as Ohio's 6th all-time leading scorer. Our nominees will be put up for a fan vote in their own video post tomorrow to determine who will be our final baller of the new season. Now I'll send it over to Brian in the butcher shop as he prepares your top cuts.
Welcome inside of the butcher shop for the final time this season, where I have imported the finest selections of cuts right from Dayton in the boys state championships, where OH Report had boots on the ground for 17 of the 21 state Final Four and championship games. Our cameras captured a bunch, and I narrowed it down to the 10 very best plays from the weekend. Here they come. Let's begin our countdown in the Division III state championship, where Darius Dennis cooking up 3 Steubenville defenders like he's chefing a fish fry. Check this out again. He spins away from the first, crosses up another, then elevates over a third to help Troutwood Madison take the crown. Top Cut 9 begins with a rare highlight from Hilliard Bradley in the D1 title game, but Will Mojica will bury the first 3 of the night for the Jaguars. Princeton, though, goes fast, breaking off the bucket. Amir Gill answering at the other end just before the first quarter horn as the Vikings win their first championship in blowout fashion. Marion Local made it to the D6 final for the second straight year and will get a huge block right there from Brennan Hess, igniting the break as it falls in the lap of Grant Kimmer, who goes coast to coast for the hoop. One more look at the block by Hess on the game MVP Ryan Zerger, leading to a Flyer stampede and a thrilling overtime decision against champion, the Highland Hawks. Final Four action at the Nutter Center. First state appearance for Hillsdale started strong. Kel Lewis, no stranger to state competition on the football field, jumps the passing lane and he's headed the other way. Full 360 on the break for the slick Falcons bucket. The junior finished the game with a 23-point double-double, collecting 4 steals as well as he leads Hillsdale against eventual D7 runner-up, Kalida. Lutheran East made some history while sophomore Dylan Ziegler made some jaws drop, breezing by the defender for the two-handed flush to help take the Division V crown and a state record 4 straight title for the Lou. As we crack the top 5, we showcase the state's 6th all-time scoring leader, and you can see why right here. Cam Elwer, a crazy step-back 3, splashing the triple right in front of the St. John's bench. Blue Jays were the only team to finish the season undefeated at 29-0. Elwer had 28, finishing with nearly 2,800 during his historic career. We're running a 2-for-1 special on Xavier Williams' buckets in Massillon's Final Four win over Lima Senior, finishing a tough contested layup right there for your first cut, but he saves the juiciest for your seconds. Off of the still, Jadis Thigpen will serve up a sweet no-look dish, and Williams adds the spice. Proof the Tigers love pepper, but they hate cinnamon, sending Massillon to their first state final in nearly a century. Hoban taking on Steubenville in the Division III semifinals. Help-side defense will turn into a theft here for Santino Haney. He's going to push the pace for the Big Red to the other end, setting up this nifty around-the-back dime for the Landon Bowers bucket. Check him out as he looks off the defender and everything. Slick feed. Steubenville would make their first state final in 74 years. Time's winding down in the D2 championship tie game, and Jacob Mudhane gets out ahead of the pack for Westerville North, but he gets hocked down by Xavier Williams with the emphatic block to force overtime against the defending champs. Massillon would go on to win the program's first ever basketball title thanks to this defensive heroic from the 6-foot junior guard. But at number 1, it's the play of the tournament. Trotwood Madison's got the basketball. They're down by 3, just 10 seconds to go. Jacarius Reeves had a huge night, but he'll step back and miss this game-tying 3, saved back in bounds right to Darius Dennis. He steps into the corner with the onions. State number 1, Toledo Central Catholic, led by 10 in the 4th, but Dennis snatches victory right out of the clutches of defeat with his one shining moment, and your top cut from the boys' state championships. I don't think there's any arguing my number 1 selection this week, and if you were there, you understand kind of the magnitude and just how exciting it was for that Trotwood Madison comeback. But that's not for me to decide. Get the chatter going right now down in the comment section. Let me know what you think should be the top cut from the boys' state championships. We got a commercial timeout coming up right now. When we come back, Joe's got a 2-pack of Around the Arenas out in North Robinson with both the boys and the girls at Colonel Crawford.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
For a second consecutive season, the Colonel Crawford boys basketball program made a run to the Elite Eight following an undefeated Northern 10 Conference championship. It was the 3rd straight league title for the Eagles, led by powerful center Payne DeGray, a first-team All-District and All-N10 selection, whose unique personality is just as big as his game on the court. DeGray joined me for a trip around the arena just ahead of Crawford's playoff run to give us a deeper look into what makes him one of the program's all-time greats. We're here with Payne DeGray, the Colonel Crawford Eagles, and we're going to go around the arena and find out what makes this big guy tick. So You guys had a record-setting year a year ago. 14-0 in the league, 25-2 overall. First time to get to the state Final Four. As you came into this season, I'm sure expectations were pretty high. I guess my first question is, what were your expectations and how have you guys kind of handled that?
Well, the first expectation we have is always N10 championship, conference championship. That's always the first goal that we have in mind. We're coming up. It's a big week for us. And then also, it's hard to beat last season, but there's a new team. We're missing 4 of our seniors from last year. Yep. They're brothers to us, but new team. We had to bring up some of the younger guys. Tyler Lash, Hayden Spears, Spiegel. They've done an outstanding job for us. They're going to be really good next year as well. But it's just bringing up those guys. Tyler's been one of the better 6-mans we've had in a long time.
So, I mean, not only you've had an outstanding basketball career, you've also had an outstanding football career. But talk a little bit about those challenges of going from football into basketball, because you guys have made some deep runs in football.
Well, it's always the conditioning part, and then also, especially for me this year, I was weighing 210 during the Final Four run last year. I'm weighing about 245 now. It's a new playing weight for me, so getting up and down's a little harder. I think it dropped a little bit since then, but getting back into shape's always the biggest.
Well, you putting on 20 pounds, you look a lot better than if I put on 20 pounds, so you put it in the right places. I think every player looks to improve from one season to the next. Like, what did you focus on after last season as you came into this season? Like, hey, this is something I want to get a lot better at.
My shooting, not on the outside three. I can't shoot a three for anything, but just the little jump shots around. I've seen players at Eastern Ohio just like make a living off of those shots, and I thought this year, right on the dead spot right out there, just being able to hit a shot like that makes it so much tougher to defend me. You actually have to come out and get me, I feel like, but that was a big focus, and it's paid off so far.
I think you just reached 1,000-point mark, 13th player in Colonel Crawford basketball history to reach 1,000 points. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I was told that you're close to being an all-time leading rebounder here at Colonel Crawford. I mean, what does that mean to you as you're going to wrap up your senior year here, hopefully in more than a month?
Well, I mean, it's about like looking back through my journey. That 1,000 points, it came with these guys right now, Braden and all of them, but there were some seniors back then, Ryan and Trevor, and I think Connor and all of them, and just the journey I've had along the way to get there.
I think we went around the arena last year, but I think it's always interesting, even if it's kind of a repeat, because there's usually been somebody that's really influenced your basketball, football career. Who's that person?
I'd probably say Terry Rozier. It's been a highlight reel his whole life. Just love the guy.
So that's kind of a guy that you just like watching play just because of the energy and effort that he does.
Walking highlight reel.
If you're not playing sports, is there anything like in your free time that you like to do?
Tried to get into golfing, not very good at that.
Well, then you can match up with me because I'm not very good either.
Yeah. I'd probably say it took a lot of time to put on all that weight, but like eating, I could eat all day long.
Well, I think I saw an interview after one of the games. You were eating a chicken sandwich afterwards.
I could eat.
Well, you'll learn as you get older. You got to kind of watch that, but at your young age, you're good. What do you enjoyed the most about being in this basketball program?
I mean, I'd say both this basketball program and the football program, the brotherhood. I mean, I'm not in football right now, but I see all those guys during school throughout the day. Just the memories we've made together throughout the years. I grew up with them K through 12 here. It's a special thing in this community.
So you led right into my next question. What's the best memory that you've had if you had to pick one?
Oh man, there's been so many.
Or you can pick several if you'd like, but kind of what, when you finish here, like something that's really going to stick right in your head.
I'd probably say the bus ride back from the regional finals once we won. I'm just sitting there looking at the medal, and I've never had a regional finals medal, and I'm like, holy crap, we did it.
Well, you've been double teamed, you've been triple teamed, but in your career, who's maybe the toughest guy you've had to go against?
Oh man, I gotta give it to Connor Flood. He always guarded me tough back then. Even in the playoffs last year when I was going against 7-footers, 6'10" people, he just had something on me. I'm not sure. He was only 6'7" and just blocking all my shots. That was always a tough game the past couple of years.
That was Mohawk, right?
Yeah, Mohawk.
Yeah, so, well, appreciate you going around the arena with us, and best of luck.
Thank you.
DeGray was a huge part of the Eagles' 23-3 district championship season, racking up an amazing 48-5 record over his last 2 years, which included the program's first trip to state. Payne will be a 3-time All-Ohioan when the honors come out next week, finishing as Crawford's all-time career rebounding leader. We'll stay in North Robinson, but welcome in one of the leaders of the girls program now. Senior guard Lexi DeRay just earned all district honors, helping lead the Lady Eagles to back-to-back N10 championships and the #1 seed in their district. Lexi and I took a trip around the arena to get a deeper perspective of her life as a 3-year starter. With Lexi DeRay of the Colonel Crawford Lady Eagles, and we're going to go around the arena and find out a little bit about this player. So your team won the N10 a year ago, and you currently sit atop of the league again this year with a chance to win it outright this coming weekend against Seneca East. So my first question is, as you started this season, was that an expectation for this basketball team?
I think going into every season, an expectation of ours is just to win a league championship. And coming off of last year being league champs, I mean, we have a good team, underclassmen, upperclassmen. We're all pretty well-rounded. And so coming into the season, one of our goals was to win the N10.
You're one of 2 seniors on this team. How was your role different this year as a senior compared to last year as a junior?
Since there's only 2 of us, we have to be more vocal and lead a little bit more. I mean, last year there was 4 of them, so they could kind of split it up a little evenly and better. But this year, it's just being me and Liz, we have to be a little bit more outgoing, I would say.
Was that difficult for you?
Yeah, I'm very quiet, and last year I didn't have to do that much, so this is a big challenge for me. But I feel like I did a pretty good job.
Is there a specific skill that when you ended last year and you came into the senior year that you said, I want to get better at?
My goal for this year was to just be more positive towards myself, but also towards my teammates, and just be like a helper. I mean, being the upperclassman, you kind of have to be the pick-me-up girl, and so that's what I've been trying to do.
I think every player that we do an interview with here, this is kind of a standard question I ask is there's usually somebody that's kind of pushed you or been an influence for you in your career. Who might that person or persons be for you?
That person's been my grandma. She's a head track coach, and she's been a cross-country coach for many years, and she's always pushed me to just be a good athlete and work hard. I mean, I've gotten better over the years, and I think that's because of her.
Is there any college or professional player that you kind of like to watch or maybe even model your game after?
I wouldn't say model my game after, but I really like watching Jason Tatum. So
He's a pretty good guy to watch.
Yeah.
What have you enjoyed most about playing basketball here at Colonel Crawford?
The thing I've enjoyed most is probably the culture. I mean, all the girls are close. Whether we play all kinds of sports together or just one sport, every time we step into the gym together, we're laughing, having a good time, and I feel like we've connected really well over the past few years.
So like during the basketball season, if you're not at practice, if you're not playing basketball, is there anything else that you like to enjoy doing?
I like to work and watch TV.
Like, what do you mean work?
I work at Kroger, so.
Oh, like
yeah.
How many hours a week do you work right now?
Probably about 15.
Wow, that's a busy schedule. You've had a great career here at Colonel Crawford. What's the best memory you've had so far?
The best memory was beating Clear Fork in the district semifinals my sophomore year, and I would say winning the N10 championship last year.
You played a lot of games. Toughest player that you have had to go against in your career?
I would say Caroline Sheldon. She's a really good shooter, so closing out to her and being on my A game has been one of my toughest goals. So.
You play in a great place here at the Eagles Nest. You get a lot of really neat crowds. But when you go on the road, is there a gym that you played in that you would say, or an atmosphere that's a lot it's a tough atmosphere for you guys to play in?
I would say at Cary. I mean, it's a close gym. A lot of fans show up for both sides, and that's always tough for us, but I like playing there.
Well, on behalf of the OH Report, number one, we congratulate you on the success you guys have had so far. Wish you the best of luck this week, and especially on Saturday night, as you go for an outright N10 championship.
Thank you.
So thank you. Lexi's Lady Eagles finished as district runners-up following the program's first 20-win regular season in 25 years. She finished her career with 3 consecutive sectional titles and will compete in the News Journal's Senior Showcase on Friday. Season 4 of The Joe Show is now officially in the books. We've had some interesting twists and turns throughout the winter, which should have led to the Browns' head coaching job or the next host of RedZone, but I did get a Super Bowl ring with the Seahawks, thanks to my trusty clipboard, and I tried my best to teach Travis and Brian the art of postseason commentary. Before I get on to my next adventure of becoming a professional race car driver, let's take a look back at our Season 4 journey, and I'll see you eating my dust on the freeway.
Okay, recording now.
This two ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
All right, Joe. Season 4, Episode 1. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. Love this time of the year, Brian.
I figured basketball season would be your favorite time, your happy time.
Yeah, basketball's great. And Christmas is only 8 days away.
I know, right? It's the most wonderful time of year, plus early season hoops action, so getting back in the gym, we really gotta love it, man. But December basketball, Joe, I'm curious. What matters most this time of year?
Getting focused and staying locked in, which is tough when you walk in. This place smells like cookies.
Do concession stands even sell cookies, Joe?
There should always be Christmas cookies, Brian.
Okay. What happens when a team loses focus in December, Joe?
You know, Brian, they get distracted. They start thinking about Christmas morning instead of defensive closeouts.
That really happens?
Oh, more than you can imagine, Brian.
That sounds kind of personal, Joe. Does that really happen for a lot of teams this time of year?
Only the ones with spirit. You see, Brian, basketball in December, it's all about temptation.
Now I'm reading you. So like not doing your film study or staying up late during winter break.
You know, more like cookies, Santa, Hallmark movies. I mean, how do you focus on anything else right now?
What is happening right now? Okay, Joe. Before the entire studio becomes Santa's workshop, why don't we go ahead and just get the show started?
Like a Christmas show? I mean, I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Or what about Elf?
Maybe this isn't gonna happen today.
Hey, I know all the words to Jingle Bell. I even made up my own version of. Hey, how about let's go Christmas caroling? Brian, okay? Maybe later.
Hey, Jory. I'm so sorry I'm a little bit late.
Hi.
Is Joe already here?
Yeah, he's been here for several hours. Said that he needed the whiteboards for something. Just makes me a little nervous about how he's talking.
Really? Why? What's going on?
Well, the last show he went all Kris Kringle on us.
Right.
And the entire studio was like a Santa's workshop.
It's true.
And remember last season how he wanted to be an actor? And what about the season before? He wanted to be a pop star.
All fair points, but remember we talked to him and he said his midlife crisis is, that's all behind him, right?
I hope so.
Guys!
Hey!
I've had a breakthrough.
Joe?
Come in here and see what I've developed.
Breakthrough?
Come on, hurry up!
What?
We don't have much time.
What?
Come on!
Hey, Hey, what is all of this, Joe?
I'm ready.
Ready for...
Head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
But you're a Hall of Fame basketball coach.
Coaching, coaching X's and O's, it's all relative.
But Joe, you know that football has 11 players, right? And these look like old basketball plays.
That's exactly right. Nobody's ever used this strategy on a football field. That's why it's going to work.
When was the last time you even watched football, Joe?
I watched football last Sunday, and I watched the Browns, and I took a lot of notes. Defense needs to box out better. Way too much traffic in the painted area. No screens, and the press breaker.
But Joe, you wrote press break on a football game.
Yeah, but the Browns, they're just a little ways away from winning, and all they need is the right coach.
You're telling me that you're going to coach the Cleveland Browns using all basketball plays, Joe?
Yeah, look at this. The league will never see it coming.
That would be a pretty Browns move.
Yeah, but Joe, what if this method doesn't work?
We practice, and we practice more.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's gone to the Super Bowl. Here we
30-42 backside blitz.
What the heck?
Oh, come on! What are we doing? Blue 41. Hut. Jory, I said you have to use your back. You back up into him, then you open up the lane. It's a new technique that we're using.
Yes, coach.
Do it again. Ain't no way I'm doing that again.
Berardi, get in here and show them how it's done.
Yes, coach.
Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, I don't know, the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, good shooting, Joe. You still got him, man.
You know what that's called, Brian?
What?
It's called execution.
Okay.
Something Cleveland Browns apparently forgot existed.
You're still on this Browns thing, huh?
Well, we're sitting here, Brian, no head coach, no direction, no clue, and somehow Mike McDaniel gets an interview. He's never won a playoff game. You know how many I've got, Brian?
I'm sure you're about to tell me, Joe.
53, Brian.
Pretty good.
And I've never missed the playoffs.
All right.
That's more than Boy Wonder, John Harbaugh, and Bill Belichick, the GOAT, have combined.
That is a valid point. If the Browns haven't called yet, maybe they're just not going to.
If only Andrew Berry could see my talent.
I'm seeing it, Joe. Dude, you've been missing like 3 minutes.
It's because I know what I'm doing, unlike half the NFL. You know, Brian, if only they could see.
Maybe they can.
Are you tired of missing big shots? Do you panic when it matters most, like the Browns in the fourth quarter? Then you need the Joe Show Basketball Clinic for winning football.
I don't teach flashy moves like some coaches. I teach winning habits. If you can hit a pressure free throw, you can hit anything, including first-round draft picks, even when you have 2.
In this informative video, we'll teach Browns players the art of dribbling.
Like that?
Not really.
Blocking.
Get a ball, rookie!
For blocking?
Playing under pressure.
Miles Garrett's coming on your right. It's me again. Play clock's running off.
Mental and physical toughness.
Here we go, coach.
Did Jim Brown wear a helmet when he played?
Yes.
Well, then pick it up.
Sorry, Coach.
Game planning.
So when you break the press, you fill the lane, and you go. Touchdown.
Okay.
And how to not fold when the lights are brightest.
What do I do, Coach?
Buy the video.
And if you sign up today, you get the official Joe Show shot chart, a whistle, plus a signed picture of Joe draining one right in John Harbaugh's face.
Cleveland! That's for you!
The Joe Show Basketball Clinic for winning football, where shots go in and excuses go out. Only available in Northeast Ohio if your name is Jimmy Haslam or Andrew Berry. Techniques not yet approved by the NFL.
Oh, jeez. I bet this joker's never cut down any nets at regionals.
Hey, what's up, Joe? What are you looking at?
Oh, just reading about that bozo that the Browns hired as their head coach. I mean, the guy's literally named after a fruit.
Right.
I mean, it must be a criteria to go along with Berry.
I thought you might be a little disappointed by that news, so I have an idea. Have you ever heard of that football show, NFL RedZone?
Yeah, where the goofy blonde guy looks at all the games, but really doesn't do anything. Well, I mean, anybody could do that, Brian.
Well, that anybody evidently might just retire, so that somebody now could be you, Joe. I thought that could be a good backup option just in case the Browns didn't call. Want to give it a try?
Yeah. I mean, how hard could it possibly be? Welcome to Joe Zone. I'm Joe Balogh, and today we are commercial free for the next 7 hours because legally nobody would pay to sponsor anything this simple. But instead of NFL games, we've got our OH Report games everywhere and all at once. All right, let's start in Fredericktown. No, wait, Shelby? Hold on. These are coming at me kind of fast, guys.
Joe, it's good, man. Hey, just watch the highlight, jump from one to the next, talk about it a little bit, and then move on. You got this.
All right, we're going to bounce around. This is Red Zone. When one game slows down, we immediately panic and we go somewhere else. All right, we've got 7 games on screen. Are all these happening right now? Someone just scored. I don't know where. I don't know who. But it felt important. 3-pointer. Nope. Oh, that's a timeout. Okay, we've got a run going at Clear Fork. Was that a basket at East Knox? No way that score's right at Big Walnut, guys. Or is that Buckeye Valley? Do we really need all these games at once? Oh. All right, here we go. Shot, pass, charge, whistle. Somebody won? Maybe. Just could be halftime. Ryan, this is too much. These are real kids, real moments, and we're treating them like musical chairs.
Just relax, Joe. You're doing fine, man. This is why we do what we do. Remember, you're just talking basketball. You got this.
Yeah. You're right. He's right. Just talk hoops, Balogh. Right, I got this. Welcome back to Red Zone, everybody, where we've got all the games happening at once. Like this one at Danville. And what a steal and score. That was to close the half. Give me another. Or this game at Clear Fork. Wow. What a shot from 3-point range. He's heating up. And how about this? Takedown. Why is there wrestling?
All right. Yep, I'm actually going to talk to Joe right now. Hey, what's up, Joe?
All right. Before anybody asks, no. We're not doing OH Report RedZone again this week.
But I thought it went really well. I mean, you were calling 7 games at once, sorta.
7 games, 1 screen, score updates, and a panic attack. That's not RedZone. That's basketball whack-a-mole.
Yeah, you did yell 3-pointer once during a timeout.
Because it was dramatic, Brian.
What about another clinic? Just because the Browns don't see the value in running basketball plays on a football field doesn't mean that all the NFL teams feel that way.
I don't know, Brian. Andrew Barry's email reply to my video said, "Thanks for the giggles." And Jimmy Haslam's security team put my face on wanted posters around the team's facility.
Yeah, maybe we do need to pivot. You got anything in mind for this week?
I'm glad you asked, Brian. You're my brother, right?
I mean, you're a little older, and we're not really related, but...
Basketball brother,
Yes.
media brother,
Yes.
stress eating during timeouts brother.
Of course.
And I think it's time we profit from that.
Okay. Now you got me listening.
We're doing a Joe cast for the Super Bowl.
A Joe cast?
Exactly. Just like the Manning brothers. They talk during the game, break things down,
Yeah.
tell stories. I've got a million of those.
Yeah, but they're quarterbacks, you know, that played in the NFL and kind of won Super Bowls, Joe.
And I'm a coach, you know, who's won league titles and district titles.
So, what would a Joe cast look like?
It looks like me talking
Okay.
and you agreeing
Okay.
quietly.
That checks out.
We're gonna practice it right now.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to JoeCast.
Stop the ball! Stop the ball. See that formation? That's basically a 2-3 zone.
That's just the opening kickoff, Joe.
Exactly. Poor spacing.
Okay. Well, what I was about to say was, you see how
Settling for a long attempt early. I don't like that shot selection.
Right. Okay. So like I was saying, the Patriots on one side of the ball.
Reminds me of our sectional final opponent in 2005. They've got good length. They just need to use the glass.
Joe, there is no glass.
That's the problem with today's game, Brian. Nobody cares about fundamentals anymore.
Okay. Well, speaking of fundamentals, you see the quarterback and how he's lining up right now.
Man, that's a bad call. That official's guessing. You know, very similar to the charge call that cost me the NCC title in '95.
Joe, I'm pretty sure he was just blowing the whistle to restart the play clock.
Even worse. Do you realize that if there had been a shot clock back in 2015, we may have won the NOL?
I guess this is pretty similar. But Joe, how about
Brian, can you keep it down a little bit? I'm trying to watch the game.
I can't do this anymore. Cut my mic.
And why aren't the Patriots running any screen and roll? You know, this takes me back to my regional game in '97. Hey, by the way, Brian, while you're up, can you grab me some more of that cheese dip that you guys made?
Hey, Joe. How was your weekend, man?
Man, I finally got some sleep last night. Boy, was I riding high.
That's great to hear. I am so sorry I couldn't make it for your Manning Cast show. I was, busy.
Oh, don't worry about it. I had to cancel anyways. Because instead of sitting on my couch, I figured, why not go straight to the source?
So you went to the Super Bowl?
Not just went, I showed up with a purpose. Walked right onto the field.
Wait, what? How did you get onto the field?
I brought this from my coaching days. And if you carry a clipboard, nobody asks questions. You could walk right into NASA with a clipboard and they'd be like, hey, he probably understands gravity. Let him in.
So you just walked right into the Super Bowl onto the field because you were carrying a clipboard? Come on, Joe.
No badge, no problem. But I walked in with confidence and a clipboard. The NFL guys let me right in and even gave me an escort to the field.
I want to believe you, Joe, but there is no way that worked.
Hey guys, sorry I'm early.
Hey, yeah, you are early. How'd you even get in here? I didn't put you on the security list yet.
I think they just saw the clipboard.
What?
They know I mean business when I'm carrying this thing. Nobody ever stops me.
Like I was saying, I walked in with my clipboard and there's dancers everywhere. Music blasting, people rolling in set pieces the size of a 3-point arc. Then a guy with a clipboard walks up, so you know he's serious, and says to me, sir, you need to put this on, walk out following the other sugar cane, and stand in place. Go, go, go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sugar what?
The sugar cane, those bush things for the music performance. Can you believe it? Next thing I know, I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with all the others, and that bunny guy walks by with a camera crew. He didn't seem so bad to me.
Wait a minute. You were in the halftime show with Bad Bunny?
Yeah. You know, halftime goes fast when you're part of the show. 1 minute, you're photosynthesizing. Next thing I know, the lights are back on, players are out, and the Seahawks are asking for coaching advice.
This is getting to be too much. You actually helped the Seahawks coach on Sunday?
Well, they must have seen the clipboard and realized they needed my expertise. I think my insight on pick and roll defense may have made the difference. We get fitted for rings next week. Feels good to be hanging banners again.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Jory.
I got my new driver's license.
I thought you said the DMV was packed and you were going to be a couple of hours.
It was, but I had my clipboard, and when I walked in, they ushered me straight to the front. It only took like 3 minutes, and they didn't even charge me. It also happened at the coffee shop. You guys about ready?
I have got to get me a clipboard.
They choked away the last 3 matches. They're not even going for a medal. They stink. Hey, coach.
Hey, welcome back from Seattle, Joe.
Yeah.
How was the Super Bowl parade?
Oh, even better than I expected. I shared a float with Sam Darnold, who was really impressed with my hybrid strategies.
Okay.
And take a look at this baby.
Wow. That's sweet. Is that going with your basketball medals?
I don't think I'm going to take this off for a while. But fellas, it's time to focus up. Playoff basketball starts this week, so we need to be at our best. Okay. Playoffs mean pressure, emotions, new teams. Sometimes we cover our teams, sometimes we cover teams we don't see every week. And viewers appreciate one thing above all else. And what is that, boys?
Neutral commentary.
That's right, but neutral does not mean boring. Brian, you're up.
Okay.
Tie game, final minute,
Okay.
big bucket.
Clock winding down. Nice drive to the basket. A strong finish. Now that's a big basket at the right time.
Textbook.
Yes.
Coaches love that. No one knows who you're secretly rooting for.
I've been following along in your playbook, Coach B. Works like a charm.
Okay, Travis, same situation, and you're up.
Time running out. Big situation. Oh, she just took her lunch money, her backpack, and sent her sulking on a long bus ride home.
Travis, what's the first rule?
What? That was a big bucket.
It was, but that's WWE volume in a sectional gym. You need excitement without bias, energy without favoritism.
So he's talking about enthusiasm with equal opportunity.
Okay. Exactly. Celebrate the moment, not the jersey. Let's try a new scenario. Unknown team hits a clutch deep three against our local squad.
I got this. Crucial possession in the game right here. Any points would be huge. Confident shot from beyond the arc, and it goes. Now that's playoff basketball.
Perfect, Brian. Just like the textbook says.
Fine, coach. Let's try it your way. He pulls up from three and delivers from downtown. Now that is a playoff moment.
Better, Travis. You didn't throw gas on a blazing fire this time. Remember, playoffs aren't about us. They're about the kids, the coaches, the fans, regardless of where they're from. Let's jump to the final test, Travis. Show me you can walk the line.
I think I got this now, coach. You can call me Mr. Neutral from now on.
Great. Now here's the scenario. It's Northmore basketball with a trip to the state on the line, playing one of your old rivals from the Ohio Valley. 3 seconds left, down 2, and run the clip.
Golden Knights with a chance to tie or take the lead. They have the ball. There's the kick to the right side, and he hits it! Take that, Ohio Valley! Northmore wins! Northmore's going to state! Golden Knights! Golden Knights!
Some guys just can't handle playoff basketball.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh.
Oh man, that was a really fun weekend, wasn't it?
We had a lot of pizza, didn't we?
Oh my god, too much.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Welcome
Hey, Joe.
back from Dayton, man.
Yeah.
God, state was awesome, wasn't it? But are you ready for the last show?
You know, when we started this season, I had a vision. Not a clear vision, but a vision. And I'm not ready to give up on my dreams yet.
I don't really have the energy for this today.
I got this.
Travis, take this.
Joe, you've had a great run. Those clinic videos, they're, as the kids would say, fire. Who cares if nobody watched them?
I sent another copy to Todd Monken last week. You know, maybe he'll see my talent.
Forget about the Browns, Joe. You performed with Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. And where would the Seahawks be without your strategies? You still have them on your clipboard, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But even after getting my Super Bowl ring, RedZone never called with an offer. Don't I seem like the right guy for that job?
Let's not worry about that right now, Coach. You're a dreamer. I'm sure you've got something else you'd like to pursue now that the basketball season's over.
You know, Travis, I'm glad you asked, because on my way down to the studio today, driving on Route 30, I passed 2 cars and made a lane switch you wouldn't believe.
Uh-huh.
And I watch NASCAR races, and all those guys have to do is turn left. You know, I've been driving for like 40 years, longer than most of those ankle biters have been alive. Shouldn't be that hard to soup up the old minivan and make a run at the pro driver circuit.
Yeah, super easy, Joe. I feel really good about this episode. Let's just get through this last show and then we can get you on the fast track to success.
Sure, good idea. Let's focus on the last episode and then head straight out to the parking lot for some practice, Travis. Race ya.
Yeah, good idea.
Hey man, how'd it go?
About as you'd expect.
Wow.